Planking is a great way to help strengthen your core. And when we talk about your core, we're not talking about just your front, but we're talking about your back, your shoulders, your arms, and your whole stability to help you with your running. I'm going to show you a series of different types of planking, starting out with the front plank. When you get into this position, you can either be in a high position when you're in planking, and I'll also demonstrate how to do a low position on your forearms. When you're in the plank position, you want to make sure your hands and arms are about a hip width apart or shoulder width apart. You want to make sure your toes, or all 10 toes, are tight into the floor. You want to make sure your core is tight and your glutes are tight. You don't want to have your back bowed or your glutes up in the air. You want to have a nice tight core. When you're doing your front and high plank, you can hold this initially for 30 seconds and you can have a rest for 30 seconds and try to repeat this 3 times. You can also go into a low plank position where you're on your forearms. When you build up to your strength, you can be able to hold your plank up to 60 seconds and try to repeat this for 3 sets. Once you've mastered how to do the front plank or even on your forearms, you're going to want to vary your type of planking. And one way you can vary your planking is by moving your arms or your legs in different motions. So I'm going to demonstrate different ways you can enhance and excel the different type of plank position to even help strengthen your core even better. Once again, I would not advance to these steps until you are able to hold a plank position for 60 seconds for 3 sets. The first I'm going to demonstrate is how to move your legs back and forth. So you're just rotating and extending your legs back and forth, keeping that core tight, your glutes tight. You may find yourself shaking. And if you can try to do this for 30 seconds, up to 60 seconds, for 3 sets. Once again, if you find yourself shaking, that's normal, but if you start to find your back bowing, you're not able to hold that, then you need to stop, rest, and then repeat it. Another way to do a plank on your forearms to help enhance this is to move your arms. So instead of moving your legs, you can get into a nice plank position and you can rotate your arms. And this is what it looks like from a front position. You don't want to sway. If you're doing a lot of movement like this, you're not going to get the benefit. So you want to actually move your arms where you can still feel that tightness in your core. Another way to change up the plank a little bit is called dipping. So in this movement, I'll show you how to do it from the side angle and from the front. From the side angle, you get into your core position, your plank position, tightening your core, arms forward on your elbows, and then you're going to rotate your hips. You want to have nice, tight form, tighten your glutes, and once again, you can do this for seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, or you can have rests in between each set. Another type of front plank you can do is the shoulder tap. So you get into a high plank position, and you're just tapping your shoulders, trying not to have too much movement, but you can see that you're able to use your core strength, shoulders, back, and front to help stability for that movement. Another plank position variation you can do is when you are in the high plank position, or you could start out in the low, it depends on which way you want to start. And you're going to be getting down on your forearms and then coming up into a push-up position. And when you're doing this, you want to alternate which side you're pushing up so it evens out and balances the stress and force that you're putting on your arms and shoulders. Once again, you can do this for 30 seconds, take a rest, and repeat. This next plank position is called the bear plank. You actually get in a position where your hands are about shoulder width apart. You come up into this position where you're still in a kind of 90-degree angle, and you just hold this, and you want to tighten your core, tighten your glutes the best you can. Hold this for 30 seconds, then you come back down, you repeat it, so 3 sets of 30 seconds each. And the final way I'm going to demonstrate how to do planking is to do the rotations with your arms. So once again, you get into the forearm plank position, Want to have a nice tight, everything nice and tight. And you're going to rotate to your side. The side plank, you can hold this once again for 20 to 30 seconds and come back down. Once you feel comfortable, you can even build it up to 60 seconds with 3 sets. And after you've done the side plank, if you feel like you've mastered this, this is where you can get into variations. By lifting up your leg, you can bring the leg down, you can bring it up, you can hold it. But once again, when you're up in this position, you don't want your hips to drag. You want to keep them up and nice and tight. If you're losing your balance, that's fine. You can always do a modified by putting a leg down, by putting your knee down, and that can vary it as well. Okay, so another variation to a side plank is to do the rotation. So when you're up in a side plank position, depending on which side you're up, on this side I'm actually going to be moving my right leg forward to balance myself. But once I'm in this position, you want to tighten everything, tighten up your core, and then you're going to do a hip rotation where your body rotates back and forth. And you will feel this all through your core when you're rotating back and forth. Then you're going to switch sides. Now, easy way to do this is to just rotate, or I'll demonstrate this way so you can see me. I'm now up on my left side. I have my left leg forward, and I just rotate back and forth. Once again, you do this by time, 30 seconds up to a minute for 3 sets, or you can just count up to maybe 20 or 30 repetitions. Another side plank variation is to do dips. So once you get into your side plank position, on your elbow, up tight, you want to make sure your core and you're all straight and tight and you're tighten your glutes, you can do dips. If you find this is too difficult, just make the dip a little lighter. But once you're able to get into the dips, you want to get that hip height and consistency.